how do you get unstoppable energy at any age? If you want to find out, stick around as I speak to my good friend Kim McGregor. Kim went viral on TikTok earlier this year with over 1 million views after posting a video of her beach body. She ended up in the New York Post, in the Daily Sun, because everyone wanted to know how this 53-year-old mother of 3 could look so amazing. So in a few seconds, Kim shares her tips on incredible energy, feeling fantastic in every phase of your life, and how to be unstoppable no matter what's going on in your life.
So crazy. How are you?
I am so good. I am feeling fantastic and just feeling blessed that, we're doing this together.
Yes, you look beautiful as always.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I was like, I really need to make extra effort today because I've got Kim coming on and she's a celebrity.
No. You're hilarious. Thank you, but no.
Well, we're just gonna get into it. Yes, you are famous, Kim, and for those of you who don't know how famous Kim is, I will post the post from the Sun of all places. Now, if you make it into the Sun, whether you're in the UK or you're in America or you are wherever you are in Canada, if you made it into the Sun, that is big. And if you, there are people, I'm not going to mention names, but I'm pretty certain Jordan would have loved to be in the Sun today.
Oh my God. Well, it was just a fluke. It was just a fluke.
Well, tell us about that fluke, right? Just go straight into that. Tell us about that fluke. What happened? How is it that you went viral all over the world with millions of views, ended up on the New York Post? Now that is respect. Like, for you to be on the New York Post, that is something. And I think people need to hear how you got onto the Sun. Yes. And most importantly, the New York Post, how they got your story and put it out there in America.
Well, thanks. Honestly, it was so by fluke, Edith, but as you do, we live this healthy lifestyle and we represent this incredible luxury brand that is all about health and wellness. And I had this moment back at the end of April, beginning of May, where I was saying to my husband, I feel like I'm playing so small and I just want to get this message out because I know the struggle, I'm 53 now, and I know the struggle of managing your way through menopause and feeling like you still have it all together as you're aging, but aging gracefully at the same time. And I feel so fortunate to have found this brand, to have found Arbonne, because I do feel my best, and I am super healthy. I haven't really lost that traction even in my 40s and 50s. Although I have made many, many lifestyle choices, which we'll talk about. And so just wanting to get that word out, my husband was like, you've got to just share it. You go on TikTok. All your friends are doing it. They're all going on TikTok. I'm like, but I'm too old for TikTok. And he said, go on TikTok and really talk about your age, the fact that you're 6 years past menopause and that you have 3 children, and see what kind of a response you get. Literally, that was his challenge to me. And he loves to challenge me to do things. And he knows if he challenges me, he knows I'm going to do it. So I just whipped together this little video talking about my lifestyle and posted it on TikTok. And literally that's what I know. That's not a very simple, cookie cutter formula for anybody to follow, but it was what we did. And then it went viral over Mother's Day. Was it Mother's Day? Yeah, over Mother's Day. So funny.
Awesome. I think that's just amazing and just ironic that obviously it went viral on Mother's Day, which is such a key thing because many women in their 50s, in their 40s are mothers. And a lot of the times we're looking at ourselves and thinking, gosh, will I ever feel or look and feel the way I did before I became a mom? And you've got 3 children. I know they're all over 16. How old are your kids? Are your daughters?
Yeah, my oldest is 23 and the
Wow.
twins just turned 20. So everybody's in their
Wow.
20s now. Yeah, crazy.
Wow, awesome, fantastic. So you've got these three amazing young adults who are watching you and seeing what an amazing transformation or what an amazing healthy lifestyle one can have even after you've had kids in your 40s and in your 50s. And tell me a little bit about how viral you went. Like, how many views did you have? And this is not about the TikTok, by the way, guys. We're going to come back
Yeah.
to why
Yeah.
she went viral like that.
Yeah. Well, we're over 1 million views now, and that happened sort of the beginning of May. And like very quickly, the video, I think by the time I woke up I posted it late at night, and by the time I woke up the next morning, one of my kids had said, "Oh, well, your video did really well." Because up until then, I think I had like 200 followers. I wasn't really doing much at all consistently. And then all of a sudden, I had 20,000 views, but my followers were climbing. And I had a ton of messages in my Instagram DMs, which was like way more than usual. And I was like, this is so weird. They must have the wrong person. And then one of my other daughters Googled me and she's like, no, you're actually, because people were messaging me saying, I saw you in the Sun. I saw you in the Post. I saw you in the New York Post, whatever. And then my daughter Googled me and she was like, no, they did a story. They didn't actually interview me, even though they made it sound like they did. So it was all very, very, yeah, shocking and surprising and exciting and wonderful and all of the things at the same time. But it was, you know, I think the greatest blessing, like it's not about, it wasn't so much about like, oh, I went viral, aren't I the coolest thing ever? It was about creating more awareness so that I could continue to add value to more people.
Right, awesome. So I posted on the flyer that I did earlier on your pic of you standing by the beach house, and that is the picture and the video that you did that got everybody talking and looking at your abs. And somebody thought I was reading the article in the Sun or in the Post, and they were saying, "Oh, somebody thought you were Heidi Klum," and I'm like, "Yes, I know. She looks exactly like Heidi Klum. Better, actually. I think I posted this on your page." But she looks better than Heidi Klum because I've seen her in real life. And the last time Kim and I were together was in Mexico, and I was looking at those pictures, and we were both in our swimwear and our bikinis and all this, and I'm looking at you and I'm looking at me, and I'm like, damn, I need to do something.
That was fun. That was a fun visit, though. That was so awesome to see you there in 2020. That was before the whole world shut down.
Yes, just before the world shut down, and you know, we were doing I was doing my Halle Berry like walk out of the Bond girl thing, out of the sea thing, and I'm like, I need to get the right body though. I definitely need to.
You always look gorgeous, Edith. Always, always.
So tell us, so I was saying that it was this picture of you standing by the beach and the video of you showing your amazing abs, your really amazing body, and just the energy. For me, it's not so much that you're slim, because lots of people are, right? There's lots of people who are slim, but it's not even about that. It's just the strength that you see in those pictures, and you know, and the energy that's radiating from your body, which is really incredible. So tell me how you have created that, how, or maintained that, whichever way. Maybe you have always like that and you've kept that going, or maybe at some point you lost it and then you recreated it. So what's happened? How have you maintained this amazing body?
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you. I so appreciate that. I have always been fit and, you know, healthy. Like I've always taken good care of my health, but I didn't always eat great. So in my 30s and early 40s, I ate well, but not as well as I do now, because to be honest, I could eat whatever I wanted and it didn't matter. And I know a lot of people are going to hate me for saying that. But when I hit menopause, I was 47. So I was still pretty young. And my body just started to shift. I got super bloated, was very uncomfortable around my waist and my abdomen area. And I was carrying extra weight for me. I just felt really uncomfortable. And also my energy just like tanked, and I'm a very high energy person, so that was really concerning. I had brain fog, like I couldn't remember things. I couldn't remember, you know, what I had done yesterday or
Why
an
you
hour
went
ago.
down? I get that. I'm like, why am I at the fridge? What?
Exactly. Yes. So I had all these new symptoms that started for me around menopause. And then I got the hot flashes. And in the beginning, along with the hot flashes, I got a bit of anxiety, which I had never had before. So all of those things really made me stop and assess what I was doing, because I couldn't keep doing the same thing. Our bodies do change. I've done so much reading and so much research now for myself and also for my clients, because most of my clients today are in the menopausal phase of life. So much research, and it does make a massive difference how we nourish our bodies. It's so important, and how we remain physically active. So there's sort of like 3 tiers to it. The first is the mindset. So my mindset right away was, I'm not going to become a statistic with menopause.
Awesome.
I'm not going to be one of those people who everybody just sort of like surrenders and says, you know what, this is just a phase of life. You're going to gain 10 pounds every year, and that's just the way it is. Because I had known that there were other people that didn't actually experience that. So I was willing and prepared to change my mindset. I knew I had to do that, and determined to just remain, not in an unhealthy way, but to be healthy and strong and energetic. And as you said earlier, like initially it was for my girls. Honestly, it was for my husband and my girls to just remain that level of active and energetic and joyful person that I was prior to menopause. So that was one part of it. And then the second part was, once I made that commitment that I was going to reclaim my health, how was I going to do that? Well, I had it all within my hands within the Arbonne products, the 30 Days to Healthy Living, the nutrition program. And to be totally honest, up until then, I wasn't using the products consistently or for managing my lifestyle. I was taking my Energy Fizz for sure. I was having, protein shake here and there, my tea here and there. I wasn't doing the program. So I decided, we were actually going on a vacation to Panama. And I was like, I'm just going to do this and see what happens. Like, what are my results? And it's a great benchmark, because I had something to aim for, to fitting in a bikini for Panama. Well, Edith, I did the thing like strict to the bone, which I loved. It was so amazing. And I got in the best shape of my life at 47.
Wow.
I felt so good. I was more present. I was more consistent in my nutrition. Our program is so amazing because it is scientifically designed. So it does start with your microbiome and our gut health and fueling our body that way, and adding in protein, which is really important. Plant-based protein is important as you age, because it feeds all the muscles in the brain and all the changes going on. And then I just got really consistent with my workouts, and it worked. So there was it was the nutrition, the mindset, and the exercise, that combination of the 3 things.
Awesome. Fantastic. I really love that. Attitude is everything, because so many people give up on themselves. They give up on their bodies, either because they've had an illness, or it's an expected thing that as I get to this age, I should look a certain way, or I should behave a certain way, and I should expect certain things. And I always say to people, the process of aging is not meant to be disease-filled. It's meant to, you will have certain things that are shifting, because of, obviously, we are going through some genetically. We're not meant to live forever. But we should not have diseases. We should not have illnesses that people say, oh, are age-related illnesses. We can stave off those things for as long as possible, and we may even avoid them, because it's within our capabilities, really, with our lifestyle, to be able to do that. But it's first of all changing that. And I talk to people, and it's like, oh, I'm going through they say, I'm going through the change, so I'm going to be grumpy, and I won't sleep well, I'm going to get bloated in the middle. And I must admit, there was a certain time in the last couple of years where I started feeling tired all the time, and I didn't understand what was going on. But when I looked at it, I thought, oh, this shouldn't be happening. What am I missing? And what it was certain minerals I was missing. It was vitamin D, it was zinc, and certain items that I needed to have. And so when I corrected that, I stopped feeling tired all the time. And I used to just roll out of bed literally just before I needed to go to work. And now I'm like up at 5 and I'm running, I'm going up and down. I've got 3, 4 things going on in my life at the same time, work-wise, business, and so on. And it's like, people ask me, how do you keep up? I'm like, I do, I'm calm. I'm actually probably in the calmest time of my life right now,
Wow.
and without the anxiety, and yet there's so much more that I'm juggling with my life right now. If you were to look at my plate, you'd be like, okay, I don't want that. But I feel really in my zen at the moment, and I know it's because of the nutrition aspect. That's really important, and what I'm putting in that's supporting my mind health and keeping me in that space. Whereas before I was frazzled, I was anxious, I was tired all the time. And now I say to people, you can't keep up with me, you can't. You need to come, you need to run. If you want to keep up with me, you need to run.
I love it. I love it. Well, that's what, you know, when you do, because our health is really so centered in our gut, in our microbiome, right? So even our hormones are regulated from there to a great degree. Our immune system, as you know, like 70 to 80% of our immune system is there. Our serotonin, 80% of our serotonin, which is our happy chemical, is produced there. So it's sort of, you know, to believe that we can maintain, you know, whatever people can do and get away with maybe in their 20s, and you can't get away with that forever because it's gonna bite you in the end. But you know, you just can't as your body starts to change. But the empowering thing about that is that with very simple changes, like literally cutting out inflammatory foods, boosting the you know, types of food that you consume that are going to help you, like a probiotic that's a symbiotic, you know, vegan protein powder, detox teas for your liver, those sorts of things, you are absolutely going to see and feel the benefit of it. So it's not a sacrifice to me. And a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to do without all this, the alcohol and the coffee and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, but you just complained about feeling really crappy. So don't you want to feel really good and have energy? And if this is what you have to do the majority of the time to feel that way, isn't that a fair trade-off? Because, you know, the truth is, and I don't want to get medical, I'm not a medical professional, but just all the research that I've done with osteoporosis, with menopause for women, we are at an increased chance of osteoporosis, heart disease, diabetes, and of course weight gain. So why wouldn't we take good care of ourselves even more so? And I just was listening to something the other day that said that, you know, women, this is the longest that we have lived, right? As time and science moves on, women are living longer. So a lot of these, you know, experiences that we're having with menopause, you know, maybe back in the day, women didn't live as long as, you know, to be in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s to even understand the repercussions or what to do in order to sort of heal that or treat it in a more effective, natural way. So I think we're a very empowered generation to have access to all this information and to have access to good nutrition and supplements, because supplements bridge that nutritional gap. And as much as I wasn't a big supplement user before, I totally embrace supplements now. They do make a difference.
Awesome. So before we finish, we're going to talk about those supplements, right? What you're using, because I know a lot of people, and I have a friend, Grace, who's actually joined our 30-day challenge program, and she's like, oh, I love the tea. I'm going to have only the tea. I'm going to have the body cleanse. I don't want the protein because I'm so used to other protein shakes that didn't work for me because they had dairy. So I'm trying to explain the holistic nature of what we do in terms of what is it that we're looking after? What does this do? Why do you need it? What does this do? And why do you need it? So if you can briefly just outline some of the supplements, or if not, just in a short space of time that we have left, what you've used in terms of the supplements. I know with the food, we're talking about limiting inflammatory foods, limiting foods that are mostly like allergenic to us, like gluten and soy, alcohol, coffee. So common sense things, really. Added sugar, you know, sugary drinks, etc. So those are the things that we know we really should be doing anyhow. But what is it that we're adding that's going to make up for that gap that we have as we lose some of these things as we get older?
Well, we're adding the symbiotic probiotic, which is a pre and probiotic. And not all probiotics are created equal. They don't all have the prebiotic in them, which is the food for the probiotic, which sort of activates it. And the reason that it's so important to take that supplement is because it heals our gut health. It heals our microbiome. And you know, when our gut health is out of control, which if you're eating a lot of gluten and dairy and, you know, drinking a lot of coffee or alcohol, it sets the imbalance. It creates an imbalance in our gut health. So that's really important. The protein, you know, it's important to have protein. One of the things that we're affected by as we age is muscle loss. So this isn't about being a bodybuilder by any stretch. I'm not a bodybuilder, but I definitely use more weights in my workouts now, and that resistance weight training plus the protein is amazing. That plant-based protein, it fuels your body. It releases slowly in your system. It's low glycemic index, so it's even safe for diabetics, but it helps create that satiating feeling so that you're not snacking, because that's such a big thing that can sneak up on us. And of course, you can add, you can use it in so many different ways. You can add fruits and vegetables and nut butters and avocado and all sorts of maca, which is a really good thing for postmenopause. Our Energy Fizz is amazing. It's a vitamin B12, which is a vitamin that our body doesn't naturally produce, and it increases our mental clarity, which is a real thing that I struggled with so much, Edith, when I started my menopause journey. So it gives you clarity, it allows you to focus, but it also gives you that boost of energy naturally. And there is vitamin B12, guarana, chromium, and green tea in it. So there's a natural derivative of the effects of caffeine, but without the negative side effects. So you get this boost of energy, but it lasts, you don't crash. And then that herbal tea is just epic. Like, it's so amazing. It helps you stay regular in your bowel movements, which is so important, because if you're not going to the bathroom regularly, that toxic buildup creates, oh my God, bad skin, mood disorder, like so many things. And then the green supplement, I mean, everything. I use everything. And I'm completely off of gluten, dairy, sugar permanently, because I was doing the 80-20 and I was going off and on. And it come January, this year, I was just like, no, like, I want to feel really, really good. And so just completely cutting out those things. I haven't had a sugary, and I was a sugar addict, Edith. I was a sugar addict. So I've cut it out because I don't like the way I feel when I have those things. So feeling better is my destination. So in order to feel my best, I've cut those things out. Again, I don't see it as a sacrifice because I have so much energy and I really, really feel awesome.
Okay. So that's the thing. The sugar thing is really challenging for people, because I know that we love cake, donuts, we like bread. Yes, gluten. Yes. We love bread. We love bread, and many of us love, you know, because sugar is addictive. Anyhow, it works like that. It creates that high in us. It is unfortunately what the brain uses, but we need to get the sugar from the right sources. And believe it or not, those of you, anyone watching and listening, is that we actually can get sugar from beans. We can get sugar from vegetables. We actually get sugar from complex carbs, like quinoa is a protein mostly, but they like millet and sorghum. Once the food is broken down, it becomes glucose in the end, and that's what your brain wants to use, and your muscles need to use that. But it doesn't have to come from the refined sugars, the carbohydrates like cakes and biscuits and so on. But I know that's really challenging for people. So maybe give us a tip. How can I get rid of sugar from my diet? Because I was watching J-Lo's plan for losing weight around her belly just before she goes on shows and does a concert. She goes off sugar for 10 days completely, you know, and then she follows practically what we're talking about. But how can someone do that? If somebody's like, I'm so addicted to sugar, I love sugar, and I would just go nuts if I didn't have it. What's one tip that you can share that can help people?
Yeah, I think there are so many amazing recipes that you can find that have, like either stevia. Like, I use stevia now as a sweetener instead of brown sugar. I don't use white sugar at all. I think again, it's so much of the power of that is in our mindset. Because I tell you, when I say I was a sugar addict, Edith, like if my mother-in-law made fresh butter tarts for us, I was eating a dozen of those suckers over 3 days. Like I was eating a whole batch, right? So I get that, but you really have to tune into your body, which is part of this program, is about paying attention to how you feel when you eat certain foods and mindfully fueling your body. It's not about counting calories, but how do you feel when you eat sugar? And then choosing alternatives that still taste sweet. Like our protein is delicious. It's, I use the keto friendly one. So it's 3rd generation stevia. You don't have any stevia aftertaste, but it is so delicious and so smooth and not chalky at all. So for me, one of my favorite go-tos is either protein bites, or I'll slice up an apple and I'll use some of the chocolate protein with like a hazelnut butter with no sugar, or a natural almond butter with a bit of water. So it's almost like an icing paste. And I'll sprinkle my apple with cinnamon, because that's also super anti-inflammatory for menopause. And I'll eat that as a snack. And it's sweet.
Awesome.
I get my sweet tooth satisfied, but without the side effects of processed sugar.
Fantastic. And I know somebody who will say that, we never needed sugar anyway. We started growing sugarcane somewhere along the line, and then we became addicted to it, and it was introduced to various parts of the world, by the explorers, but it wasn't something that was naturally in most people's diets. And it was, I don't know how we discovered it, but as you mentioned, fruits, apples can make up for that. And we can do so many other things with, for example, the almond protein. It has stevia. Now, for some of us that don't know what stevia is, it's a plant that is sweet. The leaf of it is sweet. And that's what you'll find a lot of the times. You can buy it now in supermarkets, and you can use that even for your baking. You can use it for adding on to your tea if you still want to do that. And it's really tasty without giving you the after effects of sugar, which is addiction, the insulin problem. And just to finish on that, because insulin is a big thing, I'm carrying my weights. 4 kgs. This is me. Yes, building my muscles, and determined not to lose any muscle mass as I get older. Yeah, so I'm doing that when I'm working. But when you think about what it is that we're doing, the insulin, and that's a big thing for us as we get older. The diabetes pandemic, which is in the world, all over the world, is related to sugar and the carbs that we're eating. And as we get older, we don't need that much energy. We don't need to be running. We're not running around like little kids, and therefore we're not going to use up that. And when we're taking the sweet sugars and the sweets and the cakes, we're causing this increase in sugar and then insulin. And for a lot of people, that creates insulin resistance, which is the reason why we end up with diabetes. Your body's not able to respond to insulin, and you start having problems. And I always say to people, having worked in the medical field for so long, the one disease you do not want to get is diabetes, because it's not just encouraging, it's not just going to disease your pancreas, it's also diseasing everything, because your blood is everywhere, right? And if sugar is everywhere, and this is why people end up having losing their sight, having gangrene, losing their hands. It's an awful, awful, awful thing. And if we can do our best to really make ourselves less liable to getting it by making these simple changes, like how much sugar we're having, how many carbs we're having in our diet, more protein, more exercise. Of course, exercise will burn up all that excess as well. It will really, really help you. And if there's anything I want to do in my other life, is to be a campaigner against diabetes. That's because I've seen how horrible the effects are in general, even if you're on medication. Most people are on medication in this part of the world, and it still affects them. And unfortunately, it's the #1 cause of cardiovascular disease, and it's something that we really need to look at. So as we finish, here's my thing. I love Kim, obviously love Kim for many reasons. She's such an amazing person. She's been so helpful for me in my urban business. She's always been there to support and teach me things. I was on her Instagram today, and I was like, I just need to copy every post that Kim's done. I just replicate it, post myself. I have to find, I need to get the bond first. And then put all these posts and just, copy you because you're amazing. I think when I grow up, I just want to be just like you. And I'm just like so thankful that you've been able to do this for us. And you know what the amazing thing is? Your middle name, Kim Born, is one of my favorite words, because when I was in high school, I read all the Born books, the identity, the supremacy, and the ultimatum. And I was in A-levels, doing my A-levels, and the Born ultimatum was this big, right? And I had to read this book, in the middle of everything else I was doing. So I would take it home, then bring it back after 2 weeks and continue reading. I think it took me a year to read it, but I would count it as one of my favorite books up to this day. And when the movies came out, I was like, yes, that book I read in the distant past. So I love that name. So obviously you've got all the right, you've got the magic things going on there. I just want to thank you. Yes, because Born was just super amazing, wasn't he? Super fly and super spy. He was just great.
Oh, yeah, that's my maiden name. So my dad used to pretend that he was Jason Bourne.
Oh, really?
So one day you'll learn I am Jason Bourne. We're like, yeah, sure, Dad. Yeah, too funny.
My God,
yeah. Oh my gosh, it's been such a pleasure to chat with you, Edith, and to share information. I've seen a couple of comments come in, and I think it's so great that we are sharing that encouraging message to just take a look at prevention. That's what this is all about. That's what the 30-day program is all about. It's about preventing illness down the road by being mindful and taking care of yourself today while you're still good and healthy and you can.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Phila. I've seen your comments. Yes, this has been really encouraging for me as well. I was a sweet lover. I just used to have dessert before the main meal, because I was like, if I eat first, then I can't have dessert, because then the food will spoil my space for the dessert, and then I won't be able to have dessert. So I'm just going to have the ice cream first and everything.
You're so funny. That's all. Well, I get it, because I was there. I get it. Crazy.
Yeah, so if we can help each other along the way, awesome. And everybody who's been here tonight and has listened, please do share your comments. Feel free to reach out and learn more about the 30 Days to Healthy Living program that we're talking about and how it can transform your life. And remember, it's not just about weight loss. Because when you look at Kim, I've never seen her overweight, shall we say, but I can see the energy and the radiance and the strength that she's basically emanating right now, and it's kind of different from way before. And I know that any one of us can benefit from this amazing program, and especially for our gut health, really key. So please reach out if you want to try something. We also give samples, our energy feeds, which we absolutely love and hate to part with. We're happy to share it, and you can sample it at our expense, and of course everything else that's part of that. So please reach out, inbox, DM me or Kim, and we'll be certain to share that information with you. So thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of Wednesday. I know Kim, it's still mid-afternoon for you and you've got lots going on, so thank you for taking the time to stop and chat with us, and I will see you soon, everybody.
I love and adore you. Thanks so much, Edith. Big hugs.
Thank you. Love you too. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.